This week we're going to make the DIY journal. We're going to do some Mod Podge. You can click on the link and you can request your journal pieces and follow along and make your journal with me. So let's get started. Welcome to DIY Nailed It with Kara. Today we are going to make a journal and we're going to Mod Podge it. You're going to need some scissors and some glue. If for some reason you don't have glue at home, I'm going to show you how to make your own glue. You use equal parts of flour and water. So we're going to put in some flour, put in some water. I'm going to take a fork and we're going to stir it. We're going to beat it so that all the lumps come out. And this is going to make a paste. If it's too watery, we're going to add a little bit more flour to it. So if you don't have glue at home, you can still do this project. I've included a link for you to request the journal, and in the journal it will also include these little squares on there. We're gonna, as soon as I get this thick enough, we're going to get started. You're gonna want it to be about the thickness of glue. It's not going to be the same color as glue, but it's kind of crazy that you can actually make glue with flour and water. It's not quite thick enough, so we're gonna just a little bit more flour. And I may have made too thick. No, actually not. That's pretty good. Okay. So you can use your flour and water, but I actually have glue, so I'm gonna use my glue. When you get your package, you're gonna open it, and what you have inside is a string and a booklet with some paper in it. I figure right now with everything that's going on, sometimes we just can't put into words our feelings and what's going on in our head, so sometimes it's best to write it down. So I thought that doing a journal for right now would be a really good idea. Your string doesn't have a tab on it, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to string it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some glue and we are going to put it on our string, and we're going to set this aside and let it dry. What that will do is help. When it dries, it'll make it hard and make it go through. So I'm going to set that aside for now. You may want to get some wet paper towel or a towel to kind of wipe your hands. If you have a foam brush, it might be easier to use a foam brush instead of getting it all over your fingers, but what's art if you can't get dirty? These little squares tiles that I'm giving you are all different colors. They've got all different kind of textures and stuff. So what we're going to do with those is we're going to take some of them and we're going to cut them into different shapes, into triangles, into smaller squares. They're two-sided, so kind of like a puzzle piece. We're just going to cut them however you want. You can even cut them into 4 small squares if you want. It's your project. You do whatever you want. How you Mod Podge is we're going to take our book here And we are going to cover it with glue, like so. And then we're just going to take our tiles and we are going to put them on here, kind of make a shape, images. They can overlap if you want, however you want to do it. We're just going to continue doing that. Now when you get your journal exactly the way that you want it, what you're going to do with your finger or with a paintbrush, you're going to completely cover all of your pieces again. This is going to glue them down completely so that they don't move and they become a part of the cover. You're going to want to put it on pretty thick. And once you put it on, it's going to need quite a while to dry. And it will dry clear, so you don't have to worry about it looking like it's glue covered. Now that it's completely covered, we're going to set it aside and let it dry for just a little bit. And then we will put our string through and make a little booklet. Once your glue is dry, which mine isn't completely dry, but it's dry enough, we're going to take the paper and line it up in the holes. We're going to take our cord, the stiff end, and we're going to start weaving. I'm going to leave just a little bit of this on the back side and kind of weave through it so we can tie a knot. And then when you get all the way through, you're going to come back and tie this in a knot here at the end. And you can weave this however you want to. You can tie that in a knot and cut off that string. And you can even use this as a bookmark if you want to kind of save your place. But there's your journal, and you can write in it, like I said, this summer about everything that's going on and help you get through and get your thoughts out there and maybe help you just a little bit cope with what's going on. Hope you enjoyed, and I'm not sure that I nailed it, but it's your journal.